Okay, let's practice dividing using our traditional algorithm. Remember, does McDonald's serve cheeseburgers? That's kind of what we're going to use as we go through this. Okay, the first step was to divide. So we ask ourselves, how many times, this is 285 divided by 9, how many times does 9 go into 28? Well, I think it goes in there 3 times. I need to use my multiplication facts. So I take 9 goes into 28 3 times. Then I go to the multiply. 3 times 9 is 27. And then I go to the subtract. So I subtract those. 8 minus 7 is 1. I check to make sure, is my 1 smaller than my 9? Yes, it is. So then I go to the bring down, and I bring down my 5, and then I repeat the process. So I go back to the divide. 9 goes into 15. How many 15 or 9s can I get out of 15? I can get 1. Then I multiply. 1 times 9 is 9. Then I subtract. 15 minus 9 is 6. Then I check to make sure, is 6 smaller than 9? Yes, it is. And then I bring down. But there's nothing more to bring down. So all I'm going to do is put my remainder with an R and a 6 for remainder 6. And that's the process I go through. Let's try one more together, and then you'll try one on your own. In the next problem, I start with my divide, and I ask myself, how many times can 7 go into 60? And I think I can go in there 8 times. Then I multiply. 8 times 7 is 56. Then I go to my subtract. And when I take 60 minus 56, I end up with 4. I check to make sure my 4 is smaller than 7, which it is. Then I bring down my 5, and I repeat the process. So I divide. 7 goes into 45 6 times. I multiply. 6 times 7 is 42. I subtract 45 minus 42, and 5 minus 2 is 3. I check to make sure it's smaller than my divisor, 3 smaller than 7. And then I bring down, but there's nothing else to bring down. So my remainder is 3. Okay, hit pause on this video right now, please, and then try number 3 on your own. When you're done with trying it on your own, then hit play again, and I'll show you the solution. Okay, we're back. Let's see how we do number 3. Again, we start with the divide. So we're going to say, how many times does 3 go into 9? It goes in there 3 times. We multiply. 3 times 3 is 9. We subtract. That's next. 9 minus 9 is 0. We check to make sure 0 is smaller than 3, and it is. We bring down the 3. And then 3, we repeat the process. So we say 3 goes into 3 1 time. We multiply. 1 times 3 is 3. We subtract 3 minus 3 to get 0. We check to make sure 0 is smaller than 3. We bring down our 5. And then we ask ourselves, 3 goes into 5. How many times? It goes in there 1 time. Then we multiply. 1 times 3 is 3. We subtract 5 minus 3 and get 2. We check to make sure 2 is smaller than 3. And we bring down, but there's nothing more to bring down. So my remainder is 2. And that's how I'll write my answer. Moving down to these, let's try one more together, and then we're going to let you do the others on your own. In number 4, again, does McDonald's serve cheeseburgers? This will kind of help me remember what to do when. Divide first, so 3 goes into 8. How many times? 2. Multiply 2 times 3 and get 6. And subtract. Make this a little bit bigger for you. Subtract 8 minus 6 and we get 2. We check to make sure 2 is smaller than 3. It is. We bring down the next number, which is 8, and then we repeat the process. So we ask ourselves, how many times does 3 go into 28? We divide. So 3 into 28, 9 times. We multiply. 9 times 3 is 27. We subtract 28 minus 27, and we get 1. We check to make sure 1's smaller than 3. We bring down our 14, or our 4, excuse me, and then we repeat the process. We divide. We say, how many times does 3 go into 14? It goes in there 4 times. We multiply. 4 times 3 is 12. We subtract 14 minus 12 and get 2. We check to see if 2 is smaller than 3, and it is. We bring down if there's anything more to bring down. There's not, so we write it as a remainder 2, and that is our answer. All right, go ahead. I'm going to have you hit pause on this video right now and go work these 2 problems. So all your steps, remember, does McDonald's serve cheeseburgers? And then come back and hit play, and I'll give you the answers to the videos, or to the solutions. Okay, we're back. Let's see our solutions. We're on number 5, and we start by dividing, and we say, how many times does 9 go into 6? Well, 9's bigger than 6. That doesn't work. But 9 can go into 66, and it goes into there 7 times. So we put the 7 above the 6 this time. And then we decide to multiply. 7 times 9 is 63. We subtract, and 66 minus 63 is 3. We check to make sure 3 is smaller than 9. We bring down the 2. And then we repeat the process. So then we ask ourselves, how many times does 9 go into 32? Goes in there 3 times. We multiply 3 times 9 and get 27. We subtract, and we end up with 5. We check to make sure that 5 is smaller than 9. We bring down, but there's nothing else to bring down. So our remainder is 5. So 73 remainder 5. And the last problem that we have, we decide 5 goes into 7. That's our division. 1 time. We multiply. 1 times 5 is 5. We subtract 7 minus 5 to get 2. We check to see if 2 is smaller than 5, and it is. We bring down our 8. And then we repeat the process. So we say, how many times does 5 go into 28? Goes in there 5 times. Then we multiply 5 times 5 and get 25. Then we subtract, and we get 8 minus 5 is 3. We check to be sure 3 is smaller than 5. We bring down our 7 and repeat the process. So we divide, and we say 5 goes into 35. 7 times. We multiply 7 times 5 to get 35. We subtract. 37 minus 35 is 2. We check to see 2 is smaller than 5. We bring down, but there's nothing more to bring down. So we put our remainder of 2. If you're struggling with any of the multiplication problems in this, you'll want to get a multiplication chart or pull one up on your Google one if you can, to help you with your basic facts, and then keep practicing those basic facts, because that's really going to serve you well in these types of problems. All right, I hope this helped a little bit.